Hi everyone and welcome to another YouTube video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the concept of conditional probability and Bayes' theorem. We'll be given the formulas that work with conditional probability and Bayes' theorem, and in the next set of videos we will try to solve one or two questions under the concept of conditional probability and Bayes' theorem. So without further ado, let's jump into the video properly. So the first question you're going to be asking yourself is, what is conditional probability? And basically we actually use the concept of conditional probability to get the probability that an event is going to occur, given that another event has actually occurred. Let's take for example we have two events, event A and event B, and we want to find the probability that event A is going to occur, given that event B is actually going to occur. Then when we find ourselves in this type of scenario, then the concept of conditional probability actually works the best. Some of the questions we actually use the concept of conditional probability to solve includes what is the probability that the team is going to win their next match, given that they actually lost the previous match, or what is the probability that he's going to pass the exam, given that he actually failed the test, or what is the probability that this team is going to win the next match, given that their star player is actually injured. So this is the time we actually use the concept of conditional probability to actually solve a question. So basically for us to use the concept of conditional probability on two events, the two events must actually be dependent on each other. Two events are actually said to be dependent on each other if the occurrence of one of the events or the chance that one of the events occurring is going to affect the other. I've actually shot a video about the concept of dependent events, so I will be linking that in the top right corner so you can just go check that out. So let's assume we have two events, event A and event B, with P of A being the probability that event A is going to occur and P of B is the probability that event B is actually going to occur. P into bracket A slash B reads probability that event A is going to occur, given that event B has actually occurred, or we can say probability of B slash A, which denotes probability that event B is actually going to occur, given that event A has actually occurred. Now let's talk about the mathematical formula we can use to work on the concept of conditional probability. So probability of A slash B is actually equals to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B, or we can say probability of B slash A is actually equals to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. Please note that the probability of A intersection B is actually equals to the probability of B intersection A. So let's talk about the concept of Bayes' theorem. So what is the Bayes' theorem? So the Bayes' theorem is actually more or less like a general way of working with conditional probability. In fact, we actually use the Bayes' theorem to get the conditional probability attached to two events. So recall that I said probability of A slash B is equals to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B, and probability of B slash A is actually equals to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. When we try to perform algebra on these two equations, we are going to realize that we have that probability of A intersection B is actually common between both equations, that is the first equation and the second equation. And if we try to do that, we have that from the first equation, probability of A intersection B is actually equals to probability of A slash B times probability of B, and from our second equation, probability of A intersection B is equals to probability of B slash A times probability of A. When we do the math, we have that probability of A slash B is actually equals to probability of B slash A times probability of A divided by probability of B, or we can say probability of B slash A is actually equals to probability of A slash probability of B times probability of B divided by probability of A. And this is the basis of the Bayes' theorem. In the next series of videos, we are going to be solving some questions which actually allow us to understand the basis and how to use the conditional formula and the Bayes' theorem to actually solve questions. So if you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, I would really appreciate if you can, click the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks for making it to the end of this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.